Hey there, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. Welcome to your reading. We are going to take a look at that space, that period of time between that full moon that we just had in Libra. And if you have not seen your reading yet for that, you may want to check that out. And the eclipse season that is right around the corner. It starts on the 21st of April. We also have Mercury retrograde happening here. And so there's this energy of really needing to dive in and see what it is that Spirit wants to talk to us about. I'm just going to get this out of the way. So let's see what Spirit wants to talk to us about, and we'll get some advice and go from there. So all right, Scorpio. So we're heading into eclipse season. The first eclipse is the new moon eclipse that we have on the 21st. And then the second one is the eclipse that happens in your sign. That is a great big final release. It's the last eclipse that you have in your sign during this cycle of the South Node being in your sign. And I think it's going to be a very welcomed relief. I think you've done a lot of work. You've had a lot of energy going through. And I think that there's a need to let something go. So you have a big, I want to say almost like, I think that eclipse that happens is opposing Uranus in Taurus, and the sun will be in Taurus at the time. And I think that it really clears up some sudden thinking. I think you finally figure some stuff out, and I think between now and then you still have this muddled thinking. So we have the forest, which says muddled, unclear thinking, which means, of course, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's kind of like when you're a waiter or a waitress, whatever your wait staff. We have a term. It's called in the weeds. It's like there's so much to do. I have to do all this stuff, and I can't see what needs to happen next. And so the thing that I found in that energy of there's so much going on, and in order to clear my brain and be able to settle in, was I would have to stop, take a deep breath, and then I would have to look at my entire station and pretend it was one table. So what does everybody need right now? What can wait? And it's not like this table, that table. And then, so I would start running my station instead of my station running me. And so how do we translate that to what's going on with you? You have so many things coming at you. Take a moment, take stock, and look at all the different things and what needs your attention, and prioritize. And even though it might be one aspect of this thing and one aspect of that thing, if you can order it in your head, it clears it out, and it's a lot easier to work through it. So there is a moving on, a moving forward, a release, a letting go. You're in the process of it. And it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart. You're letting go of friendships or a job or a family member or a relationship. There's something, because we have the carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. There is a releasing, a letting go, a moving forward, and it does kind of hurt. We have the card of the wreath, sorrow after a loss, and we have the card of July. And so I think that because July is Cancer season, for you that would be an energy that is enshrined with yours, and it's a healing energy, and I think that you will find that in July things start to get better. But let's get into the rest of the cards. And again, always you should check out your sun, your moon, and your rising. So, oh look, the key to the situation is the 10 of Cups. Oh, and you have the 9 of Cups. Look, you have some good cards coming through. I think it's going to be a relief to you to finally have an answer and know what it is. Oh, we get 2 there. And know what it is that you need to do. And so I think that's going to be a big thing for you. All right, so lots of emotional energy coming through. The overall energy here is the Knight of Acorns, which would be like the Knight of Wands. It says action and drive. It is time to take some action, and that's going to happen. These eclipses that are coming up soon are going to be very motivating and move you in that direction. I'm laughing a little because here in what's been the obstacle, we have the octopus here. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It says change and possibilities. And so again, look, he's got his tentacles like trying to move in all these other directions, and they're not moving in concert, right? When an octopus or a squid swim, they push like with all of their legs at the same and project themselves forward. But when they're doing this and splaying around and trying to juggle all the many things that are going on, they're not making a lot of progress. And I think that's how you feel. And so in order to move things forward through a loss of some sort, and it's an emotional loss, because sorrow doesn't happen when you lose something you like or you're happy to let it go. And sometimes even when we're like, no, that needed to go, I understand that needed to go, it doesn't mean you don't miss it a little bit. Now, they're also pointing out that July could be around, so July is significant, and it may not be when you let things go. It may be that you're letting someone go who is associated with July. So you met in July, you got involved with them in July, their birthday is in July, there's some kind of an anniversary in July, so it could be something like that too. But there's a definite sorrow around, releasing and letting go and moving on. But the key to the situation, this 10 of shells, this 10 of cups, it's blessing and well-being. That's the key. The key is doing what's best for you, choosing you, putting yourself first. Understanding that your value is you got to put your oxygen mask on. You got to take care of yourself. When the South Node moves through your sign, it's a lot of reordering of your life. It's a lot of letting things go, reprioritizing, figuring out, what has to, so that you can move everything forward together, all the things moving forward and pushing yourself forward and elevating. You transform the situation with the 9 of shells, with the gratitude and fulfillment. And so they're asking you, can you look at what in your life you feel grateful for? What have you accomplished? Like, I want to say, reach around and give yourself a pat on the back. You have come through a lot. When you go through the South Node in your sign and you're getting to the end of that, you've already come through a lot. Now, there is an integration period that's going to come up, and it's going to take about 1.5 years to get through the integration period. And then you get to start planting those seeds after that, and then the manifesting of them, the seeing, the fruiting of them, that doesn't happen until we get to the South Node in Leo for you. So the North Node would be in Aquarius, and so that's a few years off. It's a period of moving through. That doesn't mean there's not joy and happiness along the way. In fact, there should be. This should have allowed you to clear stuff out so you can tune into yourself and what actually brings you joy and what actually brings you happiness, and being able to see the light in yourself, and that you don't need others to bring their light, because you are the light that you need. And they're really showing this through this card here of what's been draining your energy. It says hope and readjustment. Oh my God. So earlier today, I was having a conversation with Spirit, and we were talking about the node cycles. And when the North Node or the South Node moves through your sign, it is the period of adjustment and readjustment. And so what's been draining your energy is this South Node in your sign, but that's almost over, right? And then there's the hope. There's it's about done. It's about done. In June, the North Node moves on, and then you begin this integration period. And so this 5 of shells, it's a firefly. And the thing about a firefly is it illuminates the darkness. And so in this time of transformation and transition that you've been going through this, you have been illuminating the dark corners of your own soul. You have been discovering. It's almost like they're showing me like a dirty light bulb, and you're polishing it off. And the more that you polish it and clean the grime off of it, the more it shines, and the more you realize that's you that's shining, because you're getting rid of the grime. You're understanding that you're not really stuck this wheel of fortune, that you're actually moving forward. There is progress, even if it's drifting along a little bit, right? Because the squid, the current, or the octopus, the current's going to move it. There is going to be change, and even though he's sitting there doing whatever, he's not going to stay. If he's caught in a current, he's still moving. It's still moving. And so this being really counting your blessings and understanding where you are right now, what you've accomplished, and this will and this drive to move forward. So you have the Knight of Acorns here. And the action to take, though, it's the King of Swords, the King of Feathers, but it is represented in this deck by a lion. A lion who's wearing like a feathered headdress. So your crown chakra is really lit up, and there's a lot of spiritual energy flowing in, and it's logic and justice. It is the confidence in your ability to problem solve that moves you forward. And I think Scorpio is one of the best at that. Like really seeing it can be at times a burden because you see all the ways this could go right and all the ways this could go wrong, and you run down every scenario in your head and you can get stuck. You can get stuck in that energy of indecision because you're like, well, if I did this and this and this and that. But the truth of the matter is, if you're willing to toss some of those ideas off the table and you narrow it down to one or two, well, two or three, and then you use your intuition, when you throw the logic out at this point, I've already narrowed it down. These are the options that make sense on some level, logically. And now what does your heart say? Right? Because you're going to transform here with this Nine of Shells. What brings the joy? What brings the happiness? So you've narrowed it down and now you're there. They just threw so many cards at you guys here. There's a lot going on. A lot of emotional energy showing up here because you have the 10 of Shells, the 9 of Shells. Over here, oh, God, I didn't even see this. Look. In the area of what you're trying to get information about, we have responsibility and dedication, the 10 of Acorn that really goes with this. The struggle has been the Wheel of Fortune, right? It's like there's a beast of burden here. Kind of looks like a donkey to me. It's like there's so much has been burdening you and bringing you down. So many things, so much to do that it's been hard. Your life feels like it's been being hidden. And now it's time to push that off. 9 of Shells, 10 of Shells. What do you anchor yourself into? The Page of Shells, the desire, the joy, the happiness. And there's this frog. It's that cleansing energy, intuition and inspiration. So here, right? You narrow down your choices. You confidently narrow down your choices, trusting your logic and intuition. And then you leap forward based on your intuition. What inspires you? What inspires you? What makes you feel really good about the situation? And this transformative energy. So to my way, the way the Spirit talks to me and shows me things. When it is a butterfly, the transformation is about things in the physical, like you're transforming your job, your house, your physical body, something like that. When it's a dragonfly, that is spiritual transformation. And you have the dragonfly in the area of resources. It's the 6 of Swords, so it's healing, it's transforming, it's this transition and insight. I think you start to trust yourself again. You know, when the South Node goes to our sign, we do a lot of questioning of past decisions and how did I get here? And oh my God, this is how did I get here, right? There's that energy. And then as it transitions, as it moves to our sign, and then it starts unraveling, right? Because it starts at the back, at the 29 degrees and moves to the 0 degree point. As it moves toward the beginning point, and you unravel all of the negative stuff around it, and you get back to the core of what made you make that decision. You get back to the core of who you are. And life is just nothing but a series of choices and decisions, right? And so when we get it all the way back to that, and we go, okay, wait, I get it. I get it. This is why I did this. And so now I'm going to choose to do things differently. I'm going to move forward in a different way. And so this is what we do, right? And that's where you're at. And so here in the heart space, you've got the Queen of Acorns and the 6 of Crystals. So the 6 of Pentacles, bringing things into balance. Synergy and gratitude, again with the gratitude. Synergy is observing and noticing where things are falling into place, where it seems like things show up, like out of nowhere, like a miracle, right? It's your energy drawing and attracting it, though. So your energy of gratitude will draw and attract the good opportunities. energy of fear and anxiety attracts things that show you that you were right to be fearful and anxious. So when we choose our energy and we say, I'm going to be confident in who I am, I'm going to trust myself, I'm going to choose from the heart and what brings joy and happiness, then you attract things that bring joy and happiness, and the confidence you exude, they will show you were right. They will always show you that you were right in what you were thinking. That's why thoughts matter so much. You have the Queen of Acorns that came with it, passion and creativity in the heart space. It is a little gazelle. Is it a gazelle? No, that's a little deer. It's a little deer making its way. Well, that's interesting. So what they just showed me was a stag chasing the deer. Passion and creativity. So this is the receptive energy. It's almost as though what wants to manifest and create in your life is tracking you down. It's tracking you down. It's coming for you. It is an opportunity that's coming for you. Action and drive. You're going to have to take some action, though. There's change that is happening. It is going to be a releasing and letting go of some things in order to bring something in. I'm not sure what this is, but that feels so sacral chakra. This feels like sacral chakra, the creativity here with the truth around it, and there's a little bit of root energy in it. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Seriously, are you kidding me right now? Okay, look. Big change, right? You have the card of change and release. We are moving toward that final eclipse in your sign. We have eclipse before that, and so we have an eclipse coming up next week, and then 2 weeks later we have yours. And so you are in the season of change. You're in the season of the final release, the final letting go, but do it with confidence and do it because you know that on the other side of this, and it is not the other side of it this week, this month, it is like everything, it takes time, right? And for you, it's there's the integration, there's the mourning period, there's the grieving period of the release and the letting go. Let's just say you've been in a relationship for a decade. It will take you a full year, right? It is 1 month per year of a relationship to really heal and do the inner work before you get into another one. And so don't go jumping into another situation. Give yourself the space, the integration period, the grieving period, and then the who am I and the restoration, right, of yourself and finding yourself again before you start out on that journey. I know a lot of Scorpios that seem to go from one relationship to the other, and sometimes there's no daylight between those. You've already started the next one before you wrapped up the first one. And that doesn't allow you the opportunity to do the real work of it, which was to grieve it, to come to an understanding of what you were supposed to learn in order to grow, and then the recognition of who you are now. And that informs your decision of what you want to call back into your life. But if you just leap from one thing to the other with no daylight in between, you're going to keep calling in the same energy. And when you say it seems like every relationship just it starts out great and then it goes like that. And that's because you never allowed the space for the changes to really take root. So, you have change and release, and the raven, which says, oh yeah, prepare for change. This is Archangel Azrael. Prepare for change. There's big changes coming. There really is. You have archangels. So you have Mother Mary and Archangel Crystal. So this is that. This is very high vibrational. Archangel Crystal is actually 9th dimensional energy. I think it's 9th. I don't think it's 12th. I think it's 9th. Yes, okay. And it's this really diamondly white light that comes in. It's the Christed energy. And of course, Mother Mary. And I'm actually recording these on Easter, and so it seems very appropriate for that to come in. You know, when I put up the little icons for you guys, I always put up an eagle, and you have the eagle. And that is because to me, that is like high spiritual evolution, right? It's your ability to see things from really high up. And then the snake, because there's the need to shed the skin and to go to the depths. And so all the range in between, and the life of a Scorpio is complicated to begin with. In this time frame that you chose to incarnate this time, that I want you to reach around and pat yourself on the back, because this was not an easy incarnation in which to be a Scorpio. That was geez, you are such a bright light. And even though you haven't been able to find the light within you, they would not have allowed you to incarnate at this difficult time if you didn't come with the goods, if you couldn't manage it. You can do this. So, seize opportunities courageously. There's a big release, a big letting go, a big moving forward. And even though there seems like the waters are pretty muddy right now, you can't see the forest for the trees, that clearing is coming. It's coming sooner than you think. It is important that you do use your logic and your reasoning to sort through all the different options. And when you're left with those 2 or 3, then you use the heart to help you really choose the right one. But I do think for you, you're going to want to use the logic first. And then we have Archangel Gabriel and Zedekiel. Be true to yourself, and the universe will reward you. It's the rat. The rat is a survivor. You're a survivor. You will get through this. Let's get into this card. 3 plus 7 on here. It's 37. It's a 10, right? The Wheel of Fortune, the big change. There's something blossoming and changing in your life. Oh, what did I say? Blossoming and changing, and we get the blossoming. That's what it's called. It's called blossoming. I don't know if you can see that. That's what it's called. How about I turn it this way? Even simply questioning your life or trying to figure out where and how to move forward moves your energy and aids in opening you to a higher awareness and a divine purpose. Continue with this. Spirit is acknowledging they know you are doing this already. They're not saying, hey, Scorpio, how about you start thinking about this? They're well aware that you've been doing this process. They're saying, don't give up. Don't give up right before the miracle. Keep pushing forward. Don't let your human mind with its limited point of view, right? And so here's the logic and the justice. And this is the action to take first to weed things out. But don't let that limit you. Don't let it tell you that you're stuck and not progressing, because that's not true. Try to get a higher vantage point here. You are opening, you are flowering, and your soul is blossoming. Keep faith in both yourself and spirit, and know that you are on the perfect path and that you are opening to your highest potential. It says one step at a time, but I want to say one possibly painful step, but they get easier at a time. It gets easier. The more you trust yourself and you trust what's in your heart and you follow your heart. So just like when the leaves fall to the ground in the fall season, during the winter, there's the stillness. That's your integration period. The winter time. The daylight between relationships. The daylight between major choices in life. That moment where you give to yourself, right? The leaves break down, they nurture the soil, it gets to the roots, and it allows the spring, the warmth to come in, and allows the new leafing and the new tree to grow, right? There's the growth that comes after the quiet. You're getting ready to go into the quiet. Here you've been having the radical changes and the fiery energy that comes with fall, and the harvesting and the releasing and the letting go, and you are moving into the quiet. Try not to jump out of the fire into the frying pan, or the frying pan into the fire, however that goes. Let them take the frying pan off and let it cool. Allow things to cool and integrate and heal. There is a need to allow yourself to grieve a loss. It might be the loss of your former identity or of a relationship. Maybe you lost a home, a job, a family member. Whatever this loss was, it happens. And it always, there's a major loss always when the South Node moves through your sign. Allow that to have the time to do the healing. Don't be picking at the scab before it has a time to completely heal. Then all it does is leave a scar. Allow the healing to happen. All right, Scorpio, you guys always have the most fascinating readings. All right, you guys take great care of yourself. If you like this kind of reading, please leave me a thumbs up, and a comment really helps. It helps the analytics, but mostly it helps me to understand, what it is that you guys are searching for, so that I can try to create readings that really benefit you. I'm on Facebook every day. I do more astrology. Well, kind of like intuitive astrology over there. Pull cards and do the astrology. So you can catch me over there. You guys take great care. Nurture yourself. Let things fall away that need to. And don't rush to jump into another situation, or you're going to end up right back here. And I don't think you want that. All right? You take care. Talk to you soon.